You're listening to Connected Conversations. I'm Adriane Handy. Today's episode is for anyone learning how to live after something in them has shifted. After life has changed and there's no going back to where you were before. Let's begin. Before we go on further, I want to invite you to arrive with me here in this present moment. Wherever you are right now, whether you're driving, sitting, working, moving through your day, just take a moment with me to notice your breath. Feel the flow of air in through your nose. Feel the coolness as it passes through. Feel the warmth as you slowly exhale. Notice where you feel the breath go as it fills the lungs, bringing oxygen to the body. Notice where it lands, how it feels to exhale all the way out. Bring awareness to the rhythm as it flows in and out. There's no need to change it. No need to understand anything yet. Just be here with me in this moment, with your breath. In the last episode, I spoke about the moments when staying silent became heavier than speaking. Today isn't about explaining what happened for me in that moment. It's about what happens after. After the rupture in life, after the loss, after those moments when life doesn't return to what it was before. As I was preparing this episode, what kept coming forward wasn't a specific story to share. It was a state of being. That quieter phase that comes next. Not the chaos and the crisis, not the breaking point, but the slow work after of living honestly inside a reality that's already changed. This episode lives there. One of the strangest things about loss is realizing that the world keeps moving. The sun still rises, the moon still sets, emails still come in, text messages must be sent, school pickup lines keep moving, appointments stay on the calendar, and life around you perpetually moves forward. And yet, there's a moment, often subtle, where you realize the world didn't stop for what happened to you and inside of you. You might notice this when you're standing in a grocery store line and suddenly feel disconnected. Not overwhelmed, just slightly elsewhere. Or when you're laughing at something and the laughter actually surprises you because for just a moment, you forgot how heavy things had been. Nothing technically looks different, but everything is different. And that dissonance can be confusing. Because there's no visible marker or sign that says, "Hey world, I'm still adjusting. Please be patient." So I'll ask you to reflect. When was the first time you noticed life had continued, but you hadn't quite caught up yet? Were you a child, an adolescent that experienced change or loss? Maybe you didn't have your first deep shift or loss until you were an adult. A job you loved gone, a hard divorce, difficult breakup. Maybe the loss of a loved one, friendships that fell out, the difficulty leaving a life of addiction. Maybe you've experienced an unexpected diagnosis. What was that moment for you? Pull that memory up. This is often where grief becomes visible. It gets buried down and locked away. There's a kind of grief that doesn't announce itself. It doesn't collapse. It doesn't ask for attention. It just quietly adapts. The grief learns how to function in a world that doesn't stop. From the outside, it can absolutely look like strength. But inside, there's often a private recalibration happening. You might carry it into conversations without mentioning it. You might notice you've become more selective with your energy, maybe a bit more protective of your time, or maybe you've become quieter. Not because you have nothing to say, but because you're listening and observing differently now. Sometimes the hardest part is that no one sees the real effort it takes after loss or change to simply be present. So I'll ask you to contemplate. What do you carry now in life that you didn't before? Even if you choose to rarely name it. What did the grief or the loss you experience leave within you? It's safe to recognize it. Give it space. Name it. Let's pause here and name something really important. Living with what changed within you is not weakness. Let me repeat that. Living with what changed within you is not weakness. It's not a failure to heal. It's not being stuck. It's not ingratitude for the world around you. It's not holding on too long. It's not something you can simply outgrow. Some things don't leave. They just integrate. You are not broken because grief or loss still affects you. You're not somehow behind because you're still different. And you're not doing this wrong because there isn't a clear finish line. If you've ever felt pressured to be past it by now, this is your permission to release that timeline. Your timeline is yours, and grief is not linear. One of the deepest changes after loss is identity. There's a moment, sometimes quiet, when you realize you don't quite fit the language you used to for yourself. Old roles dissolve, old priorities rearrange. People might even see you in public and say, wow, you seem different. And you may not know how to explain that without opening up more than you're ready to in that moment. You didn't choose this version of yourself that you've currently found yourself in, but here you are. Somewhere in the in-between of who you were prior and who you presently are. Learning how to live as someone new without discarding who you were takes time. Many of you feel that there was a before me and an after me. And it takes time to stop trying to force yourself back. Grief changes you. It taught me that each lesson I've had in life involving loss or grief shifted parts of me that weren't meant to shift back. So you can honor who you were and still allow space for who you're becoming. Those truths don't cancel each other out. So I'll challenge each of you listening to ask yourself, in what ways do you sense you've changed? Even if you don't quite have language for it yet. How does it feel within you as you've shifted? We know society loves clean arcs. We love to see the set points of before, breaking points, and breakthrough. The arc. But most of life doesn't resolve that neatly. Sometimes the invitation is to simply stay in whatever the part of the arc that you're in. To live alongside what changed without demanding meaning too quickly. Some phases of life don't ask us to act. They simply ask us to remain present, to be reflective, to let wisdom and answers arrive in its own time. Integration is quieter than healing, but it's just as real. If you take nothing else from this episode, I hope you take this. It's okay to live with what changed. It's okay to be capable and tender at the same time. It's okay to move forward without pretending nothing happens. In future episodes, I'll share more of the stories behind these shifts for me personally. But today was about honoring the quiet courage it takes to keep living honestly after life rearranges you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And thank you for staying present inside your own becoming. As you move back into your day, take a moment to notice your breath again. Notice the rhythm. Notice the inhale, the gentle exhale. And it's a gentle reminder, you don't need to carry this alone. If this episode met you where you are, you're welcome to listen again or simply let it settle. We'll continue this conversation next time.